Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Get Real Estate with Liz and Marie. I'm Liz,
And I'm Marie.
and it's another fun day in the Valley of the Sun with a weekly update.
Yes, it's been pretty good weather out here actually. We had a little bit of a cold spout there, but it's
A
nice and warm
little
again.
bit. There was frost on the cars. My daughter, we couldn't get her, she was late, almost late to school because we couldn't get her car scraped off because we didn't have anything. You have to use a credit card around here. We don't have scrapers.
Right. We're not used to that stuff.
Yeah, so we got a whole bunch of rain, and then it got really cold that night, and everything froze. And some parts of the valley got snow even. So I guess winter's over for us. It lasted a day.
Yes, about two down here because we had that bad rain, right?
Yes.
And but everything's back to normal, warm, sunny Arizona. I love it.
Yes, it is. And it's great. So yeah, and there was something else I was going to say, totally went out of my mind. But you and I have been just working our rumpus off trying to get our new book finished, and so I'm super excited about that. So that'll be coming in, I don't know, by the end of this month. And well, welcome to March, right? March 1st.
I know. I can't believe it's March already, but yes, we got our book. It's really in editing stages right now, just being finalized, and hopefully it will be ready for print by the end of the month.
Yeah,
So
it
super
will,
excited.
because we've given ourselves a couple hard deadlines,
Mhm.
and we have to show up, right? So
Yes.
it's good. It's really exciting though. So we'll have a lot of updates on that stuff.
Yes. So if you want to learn how to save $10,000 or more when selling your rental property, that is the title of our book. You will want to check it out.
Yeah.
And believe me, we both have learned lessons by not strategically planning before we've sold properties
Oh
and
my
paid way too
goodness.
much money in taxes. So
Absolutely. I'm just kicking myself, but we can only move forward. We can't look back and look. So we can, we can help save people
mhm.
from the mistakes we made. And it goes back to that ask us how we know.
Yes,
So
our
it's
own
exciting.
lessons
And just
learned.
real quick on that note, we went to meet with our great accountant this week, our CPA, who's helping us with everything. And we ran into some fellow investors that we referred down there who said that they are on here every week getting our updates. So
I know. So Kristen
Mike,
and Mike, if you're watching,
woo.
hello. And Justin Jensen is an amazing CPA. We'll just give him a shout out right here. So
Oh my gosh, absolutely. In fact, we're going to try and get him to go to Vegas with us on this investor stuff because he can pick up a lot of business up there too.
yes, that would be amazing if he came out there.
I know. So,
All
what do
right.
we got this week, Marie? I'm looking at these numbers and they're kind of funny.
Oh man, we got really excited last week because the number of listings went up a little bit, and this week they were like, nah, we're good.
Yeah.
Total number of active residential listings in Maricopa County on the MLS this week is 4,446, which is down 140 from last week.
And I think last week weren't we up like 140 something?
Well,
It's
we
just
were up about 40 something last week.
okay.
Um, And so it's just amazing. And, I know we only show MLS data, but I'm getting tons of emails from wholesalers right now. So I'm just curious, if just the state of the current market, a lot of people are going straight to investors, avoiding getting listed on the MLS. So I would be curious to see like what the overall numbers are, when we get
and
some of
that's
those
true. And that's what
updates.
we thought about in our house. Because I didn't, I've made mention a few times, and you knew this, that I didn't want to fix, repair, paint, carpet, or anything. You and I have spoken. I've spoken with our realtor friend, and I have decided I am going to at least paint flooring and countertops in here, which I know is going to significantly increase the saleability. So I'm happy with that decision. But when it comes to some other things, I'm going to draw a hard line and be like, no, because I did fix at least this part that you won't have to do. So
Yeah. Well, it's just an interesting market. And I mean, we're nowhere close to a balanced market. So this is just a crazy seller's market with less than 4,500 listings
yeah,
on the
true.
MLS. It's just crazy. And the median list price went up just a little bit again from last week. So We are at 504. We were at 499 last week. So median list price went up about 5,000 across the whole valley. But obviously different cities had some fluctuations. So interestingly enough, Phoenix went up 20,000, Tempe went up 23,000, and Chandler went up 43,000. So I'm just rounding out those numbers a little bit, but yeah, there's been some increase across the board. So this market is just crazy. I know some people are asking what's going on in other countries, how it's going to affect our market. I have no idea. I don't have a crystal ball, but with the number of listings just being so low, we are going to remain in a seller's market for a long time, especially if these interest rates stay low. So, I have heard people too, and I just want to talk about some of the posts we've seen, right? Of, people are saying, oh, this is a terrible time to buy because the prices are so high, but the interest rates are so low that if you wait a few months and the interest rates come up, you are going to be paying significantly more for a lower priced house, your monthly payment, just because of the interest rates. So it is definitely this little interesting vortex that we're in right now and just what's going on.
So take advantage of it. I mean, if you can, it's definitely and again, if you have somewhere else, if you can sell and have a place to go to or another option, then that's great. If you're kicking tires, and you're going to sell high, you're also going to buy high. So just be aware of that. I've had so many conversations with friends about that. So say, oh my God, it's kind of a phantom number then. Oh, look how much I can make on my house, but then I got to go buy something, replace it with something that I'm going to make. Oh my gosh, look how much I'm going to pay on this house.
It's going to be just as high. So yeah, it balances out unless you're leaving the Phoenix metro area and you're, moving to somewhere
Fayetteville, North Carolina,
Tennessee or North Carolina. But yeah, it's interesting. So the active number of rentals has just increased slightly. We're at 3,829. I almost said 38,000, which would have been funny. 3,829 active rentals. And the median rent price is still 3,000. It's stayed very consistent over the past few months that we've been doing this live, but I know we have some interesting data on rental prices in our upcoming news. So
well, and that's it, because it's where you pull it off the MLS and who's all on there versus this article we're going to look at. Where was their data pulled from? Was it only the MLS? Was it a bigger, I think it's a CoreLogic thing, but where they, again, going back to CoreLogic, and where do they get that information?
I know.
We weren't told.
So yeah, I mean, the Phoenix, just overall, the metro area is a very, very much a seller's market still right now. Prices are still high, but interest rates are still low. So
hotbed of activity.
Like Liz said, if you're looking to sell your property and you don't want to list it on the MLS, definitely give us a call and check us out.
Yeah. Well, and that's it. And just know where you want to go.
Yes.
Or be prepared to pay a larger amount to replace what it is you're selling.
Yeah. Okay, so what's going on in some real estate news?
Okay, so in the real estate news, one of the first articles I found was single-family home rental rate growth in Metro Phoenix doubled national average. So, we've watched these rentals, we watch the numbers, and we watch the median price. And as I said, in the ASREA group that we have here, over the last few years, this is pre-COVID mainly because I hadn't attended much since COVID. But the gentleman that ran that was always complaining that he felt that our rental rates were too low here. And it would be interesting to think what he thinks now, because they've increased so much in the last couple of years.
Yes. So this
and even the availability,
18.9% increase year over year.
Yeah, and that's big. And so that's also hitting the renters pretty heavy in their pocket. And then they want to go maybe try to buy something, and they're having a hard time finding something to buy that's affordable in the area they want to be in. So you can get caught in a little bit of a quagmire there, but that's the rentals we talked about. Some of them, they're harder. They could be a little bit harder to find too, because people are selling them because they can get top dollar for them, And
Right.
there's so many
Investors are
being converted,
taking advantage of these high prices right now.
and the Airbnbs.
Yep.
And so a lot of them are being converted from long-term into short-term Airbnbs. Whereas the good thing about that is if something with the Airbnb business changes a little bit, or short-term rental business, let's say, they can
Mhm.
convert them back to long-term rentals. So
Yes.
yeah, so it's tough. I
Well,
mean, even in the rental can be a little tough right
yeah,
now.
and I mean, and that goes to the point here of the average number of single family rentals. So obviously, rentals includes everything: condos, apartments, single family houses. The single family houses, according to this article, has decreased 12% year over year. So prices are going up, the number of single family renters are decreasing, and that could be due to, like you were saying, Liz, those conversions, or just those investors taking advantage and walking away with higher pricing right now. So,
I know, but wait, let's put a little plug in here about our book too. Because one of the things on the options in our book that we're going to talk about are lease options, where
mhm.
you sign a lease for so many years with the option to purchase it at the end of that lease. And
Yep.
the good thing about that is, as the landlord, as the owner, you cannot sell it out from underneath those people. So that's a good strategy for a renter if they think they know they want to buy, they
Yep.
like where they are, and if that works out for the owner, and that's one of the programs we're going to offer, but
Yep.
that can give you a little bit of security and where you're renting. Because right now, I mean, I hate to say, that's what I'm doing to my renters is I didn't renew the lease because we're going to move back into it. But yeah,
Yes. So lease options and a rent to own program are both unbelievable things that we are pushing forward with right now and getting our systems in place. And then, I mean, but even right now, with the amount of, landlord owners that are just willing to take advantage of these higher prices and sell, an installment sale and seller financing is such an amazing, amazing opportunity to defer and or decrease your capital gains. And it gives a lot of different options. So yes, we will give a little plug to the book because we've been working so hard on it. I agree. It will have some amazing information. So if you do own a rental and you're thinking about selling it, let's get on a call and figure out some tax saving strategies and figure out how you can sell it and not get hit so hard by Uncle Sam.
right. And continue to maybe receive monthly payments without the
Yep.
headaches because we can still pay. So there's so many options. So I'm super excited about that. So that I don't want to say it was a shameless plug, but it was a plug because we are the book writers and because it
Yep.
related to this, which is not why I put the article in here.
No, but so interestingly in this article, it says single family monthly rental rates in Metro Phoenix in 2021 was 2,241, and I just showed you the current um, median rent is 2,600 in
Yeah.
Phoenix. Um, so again, if you're just listening to this or watching us, we will also post this in blog format on our website later, and you'll be able to see all these numbers.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. And see, which leads us to the next thing, which is we found a little article on how to find your dream home. And so for people that are, and this could even go a little bit for your rental or something else, but you know, it can be so frustrating out there trying to figure out where to go, what to see, what to do. If you have
right,
this little checklist, if you narrow down some of your stuff, what are the wants, what are the must haves?
right.
And list that out, and it can make your life and your realtor's life so much easier. Plus, with how well advanced the MLS system is, the realtor can plug all that stuff in and have
Yes.
daily lists sent to you of houses that meet the criteria you're looking for.
Yes. So we do provide a checklist here, but also, just things to consider in this is really know your finances, know your budget, and stick to that budget.
Mhm.
Take advantage of the low mortgage rates, like we said before, but also know what you can afford. And those wants and must haves are a big difference, right? Like, if everyone moves here and is like, "Oh, I need a pool." Do you really need a pool? It's a lot to maintain. You might want a pool, but is it really necessary? So definitely, prioritize your list figure out definitely location, neighborhood, school districts, certain things that are really, really, really important that are non-negotiable. But everything else that's just like, oh, I would like that. You want to have that like kind of on a separate list.
Yeah, for sure. And it just makes it, I think it makes it, it might take longer to find that dream home, but when it hits, you know it versus, kind of, is this where I want to be? Is it not? It just
Well,
really can help it.
and just think when we were meeting with Justin last week and he told us about he bought his place in 2011 and there were tons of investors coming in and the market had already crashed and everything was at a low, but he couldn't find anything. But he had such a clear checklist that when his realtor called him up and said, okay, I think I found something. It's perfect for you. It's at the end of the cul-de-sac. It's the V-shaped lot. It has this, it has that. He just said, make an offer. He didn't
Yeah,
even have to think about it. He said, I made an offer sight unseen
that is
because
so
he
true.
was so clear on
And
what
he
he
loves
wanted.
it. I said, did you like it? And he's like, oh, I love it. It's, it was everything. So
Yeah, that realtor knew exactly what he was looking for. So that's just a testimony to say, get your checklist in order and know exactly what you're looking for.
yep, exactly. That's great.
So I love that. And so what's going on with the MLB right now?
I know they're still in lockout, and I hate to say it. I have a feeling if something doesn't happen by this Saturday, the 5th, the spring training games could be not happening for this year, and which is really sad. But I feel like that's a kind of almost a drop dead date. I keep seeing that date in all
Right.
the, publications and the information I gather that seems to be like the date.
Yes,
So far we're still on a lockout. It's kind of, but I'm telling you, the second that it's not a lockout, they're here. Those boys
I
are
know.
here. They're on the field. It's not like, oh, we'll start next Tuesday. No, you better be here in 4 hours.
Yes, and it's so interesting because there really is some economic impact that's going to happen. It's not just these players, it's a major tourism and there's major currency that gets spent during this
Yeah,
time. So there are going to be economic impacts to a lot of, restaurants and
hotels and
yes. So it will be interesting to see how this impacts because again, last year limited capacity due to COVID. The year before that literally got cut off 2 weeks in. So it will be interesting to see what kind of economic impact happens if they cannot come to an agreement.
I know, and Florida's going to be having the same issues. So we'll keep our
Mhm.
fingers crossed. We'll hope for the
Yes.
best.
Some prayers.
Yep.
Come on, Jesus.
Yep.
Let them work together.
Yeah, let's play ball.
Um,
Okay, so
so
our last
yeah,
feel good article, you and I belong to a ladies impact group that was started, and we want to make an impact in this valley. And the main thing is affordable housing for people is one of our strong suits, and helping some other groups of people. And we have a gal in our group that's super strong with the Afghan community because she lived and worked there for years, and she has close connections with people there and that are suffering from the American withdrawal, all the troops withdraw, and we're still trying to help those people. So I like seeing that there's an organization here. There's probably more than just this, but the Halambre, how do you say that? Halambre Elementary School District is helping some of the students. And I think it's amazing because they don't speak English. They don't know what our customs are here, our setup, and they're paying attention to these, not just Afghans, but some other foreign students that are moving here. And I think that's a cool program.
yeah, I mean that's beautiful. They're talking about families from Afghanistan, Turkey, Venezuela, Guatemala, Cuba, Syria, Sudan. So they really are helping these families that are from totally different cultures. So it's not just a language barrier, but there is culture shock. And I know that what we talked about with Rochelle and stuff that was going on with some of the Afghan families, where they were recording videos to just explain how to use a toilet
Yeah.
or explain what a remote control is for a TV or certain things that you wouldn't even know they just didn't have access to and now they have access to. So I think it's just so amazing, and explaining the cultural differences and that you're moving to a country where you have some rights and you
Mm.
can go to school, whether you're a boy or a girl, right? And you have
Well, and
all of
in
these,
that article right there, it says, and feel safe at school. Now, that's
right,
just, it is a safe place, generally speaking. But we take that for granted because we don't even know what it's like to not be safe.
right.
So,
No, it's so true. So I think it's awesome that this elementary school district is helping out these families that are coming here, and helping them integrate. I mean, the United States is a melting pot. It always has been. It always will be. So we have to embrace the change and embrace, the different families and cultures that come here.
exactly. Weren't you at the
So
Italian festival this past weekend?
I was at the Italian festival this last weekend. Now, I will say it was not like the San Gennaro feast that I grew up going to in Brooklyn, but it was nice to have, all the different food trucks. I would like to say, if anyone out here is listening from that community, some more games or interaction for the kids would be nice because they were bored out of their minds. But it was definitely a very nice day out.
Yeah, that's cool. And my son was involved in that program because again, this, one of the, I forget which city, I should have looked it up beforehand, and that's bad, but is a sister city to Phoenix. And so we were involved with the Italian group, the Italy
Right.
group that's here because that was one of the sister cities. And so
Oh, nice.
the kids were out there, the students, the high school students were out there probably, helping and doing things. And it's a
Well,
pretty
and there were all different people there, all different cultures. It was very amusing to me. At one point, I heard a family say, "Who wants donut holes?" And I'm like, "No, those are called Zeppelis. They're not called donut holes.
I would not know
Um,
that.
they are the Italian Zeppeli, and they're a nice size. They're not like these teeny tiny little like munchkins that you get from Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
But it was just funny to see that and experience that. And they had a couple of cool vendors. Um, they were selling like olive oil and all these different
Oh, fun.
tchotchkes and cute stuff. So,
Well, fun.
like I said, it was a beautiful day. The weather was nice. They had some bands playing. The music was nice. I just wish they had some kind of like carnival games or something for my kids to do so that
There you
they
go.
weren't.
Well, we'll hook you up with the sister cities and down there in the
Well,
the
and they had
Italian
some
club.
nice fancy Italian cars, which was cool. So my husband wasn't there, but we were walking around checking out the fancy cars, and they had some nice Alfa Romeos and some other brands that I had never even heard of. There
Oh,
was
wow.
a vintage car. I think it was called a Barilla, and it was from 1934.
Ooh, that's cool.
It was very cool looking.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, it was definitely a fun day out. And then again, we have some other events still going
Oh,
on.
yes.
So, even without spring training, the Arizona Renaissance Festival goes through April 3rd. So, if you haven't checked that out yet, you still have a whole month to get out there. NASCAR is in just almost less than 2 weeks here,
Yeah.
March 11th to the 13th. Luke Days at the Air Force Base, the 19th and the 20th. Spring Tempe Festival of the Arts, Country Thunder, Restaurant Week in May. So we still have a lot of things going on even without spring training.
Yes. Yes, ma'am, we do. So it's good. And we're still buying houses we're still out there helping. So lizandmarie.com/save now, and you can see what all we can do for you.
Yes, check us out. I'll put the little link there right now. And soon there'll be another link for the book that we're about to finalize and publish. So
Yes.
whether you just want to sell or you're a landlord looking to sell and save money on taxes, we will be your gals.
Yes, for sure. All right, cool. Well, this has been great. I love it.
Yes.
We got to go meet with our CPA now to finalize some numbers and get this thing rocking and rolling. So it's super
Yes, we
exciting.
do. So,
All right, peace.
like Liz Les, peace and love.
Peace and love. See you next week.
See you next week,
Bye.
guys. Bye.